smelly, ugly, and nerdy. If I'm being nice, those are the words that I would use to describe my ex. But they're actually some of the most common stereotypes used to describe computer science majors. However, I recently talked with Aidan Ouckama, who was an intern at Doordash, Datadog, and even Microsoft. And I decided to challenge him to a build-off, putting both of our summer internships on the line, but also how he got an internship posting brainROT on LinkedIn, his advice for students trying to land an internship in an overcooked market, and why computer science students just don't shower.
Aidan, what do you gotta say?
I wanted to say thank you for having me, and I'm excited to destroy you in this Minecraft house building challenge.
We can pick up another sector to start, but we also have to make sure that we do not get absolutely destroyed by these mobs.
Yeah.
I'll start in this sector and you can start over like another sector.
All right, bet. I'll start over here. You won't even see me.
I can see you. All right.
Oh, man.
That zombie's coming for you. There's a creeper!
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you for my first question of the day, if you had 24 hours to go viral, how would you do it?
That's a good question. I asked Hayden that one. I was thinking about that when he asked him that. I don't know. It's kind of hard for me because I just do brainROT stuff and I just pray that it goes viral. I would just like scroll through my TikTok feed and then find the funniest trend I could find and just make it like computer science related. I think that's just like my 24-hour like schedule for TikTok.
So where does your content arc really start?
Yeah, I have a whole I have a timeline for that. I started with, so you know those YouTube videos that you saw on like my YouTube channel where I was like, like 11 years old and like posting content on YouTube? I probably shouldn't be doing that. But it started with that where I just like pulled up Minecraft, screen recorded it, yapped, and like played Minecraft. You could actually see my content like evolved as I started like doing like challenges with my family and stuff. I did like build battles with my sisters. Yeah, stuff like that. But then eventually, I guess I didn't have enough time for it. I think I was entering like high school. I pivoted into Twitch. I started Twitch streaming. So like I'd even stop doing my like content. But I think I did that so I could have a more two-way conversation with the people that watched my videos, like the two people that watched it, I guess. You can't hate me for talking about this, but like a dream and like George Not Found in those bros. So before he like, became a pedophile,
what?
Yeah, you don't know about that? He like talks to kids on Snapchat. Like every single one of them like yes, that's real, yes. But before they did that, before they were known to do that, I used to watch them a bunch. But anyways, so after the Twitch streaming phase, that's when I entered college, because that's about when COVID ended, and like that's when like workload like really increased. I didn't have time to stream Minecraft 8 hours a day. So then freshman year I was like, okay, screw like video games in general. I'm gonna try and make videos on like my major, so it could actually be like a productive thing, So then that's when I made like my first CS POV, because I saw other people doing POV. So I usually just like view what other people are doing, to be honest. I'm a sheep when it comes to content, but I posted my first POV spring of my freshman year, and my first video that really blew up was after I had like a humanities class where they gave us homework, and the homework was like go outside. She literally said like to go outside and like sit in the grass and like touch the grass and stuff. So I made a TikTok about it, and like that like went viral, and I was like, okay.
What was that TikTok about? Was it just like CS majors don't touch grass?
Yeah, it was just a joke on that.
What do you think though? Because when people say brainROT content, people say content where it's like maybe not so informational content. How do you go about explaining that when you're talking to professionals?
That's a good question. I think how I do it is when I talk about the TikTok, I mainly talk about the educational part, and I like leave out the brainROT part. Yeah, I really try not to talk about the brainROT part when I did my interviews for Doordash and Datadog. Like they went in on the social media stuff. Like they asked a lot about it. So I really just dodged the brainROT bit, and I just talked about how it was an educational TikTok for computer science students that were looking to break into tech and stuff, which might not be a completely accurate representation of the content, but full with like bullet points and stuff, put a few extra stats in there.
What do you think is the craziest fan interaction you've ever had?
Dude, oh my god. One time I went snowboarding at Mountain Creek. So like I wasn't expecting anybody to recognize who I was. And I was on the ski lift with my dad, and we're about to go down the mountain. I think it was a blue diamond or something. But the guy next to us, he was like, wait, I think I've seen you from somewhere. I'm like, no way this is happening. Like with my dad next to me and like at a snowboarding place. So I was like, maybe, where have you seen me from? And he's like, dude, you do the LeetCode live sessions, right? And at this point, my dad was freaking my dad was like, what? Wait, you know my son? And he's like, yeah, dude, he does like LeetCode and it does like computer science content. I was like, oh my God, dude, that's so cool. And my dad pulled out his phone and he started recording. And he was like, wait, say that again. And he was like, yeah, dude, your son Aidan's the GOAT. He does the LeetCode lives. And dude, at this point, I was just like looking down. I was like, oh my God. Because, you know, he's like,
fangirl moment.
He's doing like the dad embarrassing your son bit. I was like, okay, all right. That was like when my dad really saw like the impact of like social media and stuff. Because especially when I was doing live streaming stuff, like he wasn't, you know, if I was streaming, he'd be like, are you really, should you really be doing this right now? You know, like, shouldn't you like go outside? Like maybe he was right. At that point, he was like, wow, like your social media has like reached people. And I was like, I don't know, maybe.
What's the most overrated piece of advice that you hear with creating a personal brand and why?
Oh, overrated?
Overrated.
Honestly, I can't think of overrated. I feel like one underrated, if I could take this question another way. People don't talk about like how much you need to consume the content that you're pitching out content for. And like you need to have a pretty deep understanding of the people who you're pitching this content to and like what they want and what they want to view. Even though I'm doing brainROT, like sometimes I have to scroll through TikTok for a bit to see like what brainROT is trending right now and like what people want to see. Cave divers one recently, like that took a bit of scrolling. Yeah, I think like the main thing is to produce, you need to consume a lot and like get a deep understanding of what you should or what you're posting.
What are your top 3 biggest pieces of advice for people who want to land an internship next summer but just don't know where to start? Like,
this is gonna sound weird, but like figure yourself out, because I personally believe there's 2 like main ways of getting an internship, and that's like I think you talked about it already, like the networking till your hands fall off way, where you're just talking to people, getting referrals and stuff. And in that case, you don't really need to mass apply because you're like directing your efforts into very specific companies, and like it's a much higher chance than like if you were to cold apply to them. So you go that route where you're like, you know, trying to network, or you have a very big network. I went the mass apply everywhere, like built this Google sheet and like GitHub full of internships that I applied to, and just like pray pretty much. I personally, like, since it worked for me, obviously I'm biased, I'm gonna say it worked, but you know, it doesn't work for everybody, as you said. Like it's certain fits for certain people. If you're more of a networking guy, then 100% go the networking way. Don't waste your time mass applying everywhere if you have the skills to, you know, network with other people. But if you're like me, where you don't have that much of a network, go to sort of a mid school, then like you just gotta mass apply, pray, and if that one company says yes, then you're set like for the rest. Like that's how I got Microsoft, was because of getting Datadog and Doordash from cold applying. So but number 2, I would say if you're a mass applier, then definitely have like a Google sheet to like keep track of your stuff. When I applied to Doordash and Datadog, at that point my resume went through like probably like 50 plus iterations before I even applied to those guys, because there's companies that open early, like Walmart, Quant.
How do you make relationships sound human and authentic, especially as a CS major? Because CS majors, as you know, are more introverted. How do you go about creating that sense of affinity when you're not per se the extroverted business major or the extroverted consulting guy?
I think the best way, in my opinion, is to go to places where like there's other like-minded individuals like you, where there's other introverted people, right? I think one of the best ways for that is like definitely hackathons, right? Because like who else is going to be coding a project on like a weekend or like a Friday night, you know? But like you could generalize that idea where it's just like going to places where they have like common interests. It's very easy to talk to them.
In your opinion, how many LeetCode questions is enough?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think definitely take my answer with a grain of salt, but I feel like the issue with people like doing this like LeetCode grind thing is like, first off, like there's key LeetCode questions that can teach you a lot, and I feel like if you focus on those, you could minimize the amount of LeetCode you have to do. But the key thing with LeetCode is pattern recognition part. Like you're not doing LeetCode to learn the problems, you're doing LeetCode to learn the patterns that these problems follow, right? I feel like a bunch of people say that. I probably sound like a bot, but I honestly believe in it. Like if you are doing LeetCode and you're just doing it one by one and like learning that specific problem, you're just not doing it right. And you're going to end up doing 600 problems and still not pass that interview. I think probably you could do 200 LeetCode problems if you learn those problems right and you do the 200 key ones, like you're set for like most like FANG interviews, honestly.
Really? How would you approach doing college all over again if you were a freshman?
Oh, that's a good question. I honestly like, it's tough. I always think about this. I don't know if I always think about like, should I have done recruiting as a freshman? And if I were to answer that right now, I think I would say no. I think the time that I had my freshman summer, like just enjoying myself and stuff, and like I think I visited my girlfriend down that summer. I think I should have had that time to myself. So I don't think I regret that.
But what is your thoughts on the state of LinkedIn? And as a creator, what do you feel are the worst and best parts of creating on LinkedIn?
As a person who posts on LinkedIn, I think my personal opinion on the state of LinkedIn is like, it's very fake. I'll go with the cons first. I think it's a very fake platform, and the content that people post is very ingenuine. Of course, I don't want to get too political, but like, you know, the climate of politics politics right now is very, what is it? Binary? Very,
Bipartisan?
yes, bipartisan. Definitely. Yes. So people are definitely voicing their opinions on LinkedIn specifically, which is people usually don't do that. So that was actually kind of refreshing to see people like voicing their own opinions, whether I agreed with it or not. So that's kind of cool.
Right.
And like pros, like, I don't know, there's a lot of pros on that app. Like, I guess a pro obviously is the networking that LinkedIn gives you. Like there's a lot of networking that you can do on LinkedIn, but I don't know, it's just like it's so fake and superficial that it's like, are these connections I'm making even like real, you know? Like, am I really LinkedIning with these people?
Are you really that happy to connect with me? No, I feel that. It's like, you know, people constantly talk about, and I think this is the biggest thing that you'll see, is that there is that sense of, the way I put it, and the way I tell my friends is that like, LinkedIn is a productive platform, right? You feel productive to get on LinkedIn. You feel productive to see some quote unquote insightful posts. I think the biggest thing that I've seen though is that people just don't know how to really create content on LinkedIn that feels genuine. So what would your advice be to somebody who wants to create content on LinkedIn to make sure that they don't fall into that trap of being disingenuous and sound like a robot every time they speak about a certain topic?
I don't know. I feel like there's a very direct like tip to give them, which is just, you know, like put less effort into doing these like template stuff and just genuinely think about what you want people to hear about you and like in your own voice, you know? But I just talked about my experiences and like what I learned, what I was happy about being there. Like there's a way that you can be professional and like not sound like a robot and be genuine about it, you know? Like,
all right guys, so we have officially completed our houses, and today we're going to be comparing each and every one of our houses, see which one's better. I think Aidan's house is a bit of like a B tier, but my house right over there, I think that's an A tier or maybe an S tier.
That's an S tier.
That's the work
from what I'm
Google
seeing.
intern, not a Microsoft intern. So I would say.
Let's see it.
So we'll do my house first and make it see right along this how amazing we have.
Oh wow.
Was not just one, not just two, but
three
doors.
different entrances. That's great.
The 3 internships that you'll have this summer if you follow and subscribe to me.
Oh my god,
and
so
Aidan
symbolic.
Ouckama.
So
And not just that.
Sand in the furnace.
And I left some sand in the furnace. Just to leave a little bit extra. Like how you should always leave your interviews and your interviewers feeling like they leave something extra on the table for you.
Oh wow, bar after bar this guy.
That is the next House of Champions.
You should have been a full-time Minecraft builder, bro.
Should have full-time architect and Minecraft creator. Simple. But now we will go to Aidan's maybe greater, maybe cooler house. Let's go to it. How do we teleport? Okay. Damn! Yeah, you missed the spot though, buddy.
Oh yeah, ignore that. So we got a little staircase going up to here.
Wow. Okay.
This is supposed to be a balcony, but you know, there's this fine little open balcony here.
Wow. Okay.
And then let me show you inside. Let's see it. So this is our little house, little L floor here.
Okay.
And then, you know, full roof balcony if you want to like build a pool, have a little party, just oversee your world. This is it.
Got that Patrick Bateman overlook. Might as well put the Sigma Male music on this. I don't know if I can say it's better than mine, but I think this is definitely the work of a future Google employee.
Thank you. I like
maybe
Google
even a trader.
This is a Jane Street quant Minecraft house.
Well, I wanted to say thank you guys so much for watching this video. Aidan, thank you again for being a part of this. I really enjoyed our conversation. I hope some people can learn a lot from how to not just create content, but also how to create the best versions of themselves.
See ya!